In the Chinese case, there's no elections scheduled, so their leader won't be unelected simply because they've had to take a tough stance on trade negotiations. Markets up until recently were assuming this deal would get closed.
Right.
So that's a little bit why you see the delta. The rational thing would be for a deal to get closed, and I'd still rate that as likely.
I agree with Bill.
Deadlines are tricky things, though. I mean, they produce reactions in people, and they can, particularly if you're responding to public opinion, they can inflame people, and then they start reacting to their own. They're tricky things. On the other hand, sometimes it's the best way to get things done.
A good sign, though, maybe that they just said that the Chinese delegation will continue to come, because I had real questions about that, or doubts about that myself after seeing that yesterday.
You want to conduct negotiations so it doesn't look like the other guy has to cave or something like that. The ideal thing is to make a hero out of him and still get the deal you want.
Over the weekend at the annual meeting, you two had an aside on stage that a lot of people kind of picked up on. You didn't follow up on it, so I thought we could do that here. You were talking about Dairy Queen and how your presence in China is not large, but you do have a presence in China.
Yeah, we're all over China.
For Dairy Queen, it is a very large presence, but not for Berkshire Hathaway.
No.
But you made the comment, Warren, that you would have been a much larger presence had a big deal gone through. You made it in as a aside to Charlie, but it was over the mics.
Well, we've looked at bigger. It didn't have anything to do with Dairy Queen.
No. I figured not.
We are not turning Dairy Queen into some global giant. Or we've looked at good-sized things in China, and we've done a couple things in China, and Charlie's done more individually, and it's logical. I mean, with the kind of capital we have, the big markets outside the United States are going to be the place where you're most likely to do something, and certainly China's going to be the biggest market and outside the United States, and there should be opportunities there. And I think we are someone at Berkshire, I think that if they're looking for capital around the world, we're a very logical prospect.
Why did that deal not work out? Was it because of the trade tensions?
I can't go into any details on that.
Thought I'd try.
You'll be the first to know.
In terms of what you do with your businesses, do these trade talks have any impact on you, on your investments, even your own personal ones, because you all have a large individual portfolio that you do. And Charlie, I know you focus a lot.
Some are larger than others.
Well, Charlie, I know you focused a lot on China. Does this diminish your enthusiasm for Chinese investments in any way?
No.
No, it doesn't really. If we got a call today from some business we understood and liked from China, and they were looking for a lot of, it was big, we would be delighted to get that call, and we would follow through and we'd see whether something happened. But that would be very interesting to us.
Bill, how about you?
Well, certainly, there is, in parallel with the trade talks about what the technology export regime will look like in terms of things like artificial intelligence.
Right.
And so I have some concerns about whether that will try and partition, Chinese students from American students. The general sentiment towards China right now has gone down a bit. And so there are businesses or business deals that have to go through a new process, and they're talking about even making that tighter.
CFIUS or beyond?
So I'm worried about even the sort of intellectual cooperation being slowed down we'll see where that goes, but it's a concern.
If they take our intellectual property at Dairy Queen, though, we can